Alright, so today we're going to do the dreaded rattle chain replacement. We're cutting this one out. Gonna save this one and put in. So far we've taken the drive chains off them. This is the drive chain off this machine. This stiff boy was off the other one. So the problem we're having is this one I can turn by hand. That one I can't turn with a pry bar. So he's cutting the links. I'm going to try to find the master links on this one, get the front taken apart, and get this one drug out. And we'll probably have to drag that one out with the excavator. So, let's see what happens. Let me know what breaks. That bar? Yep. What if we, can we hook a chain around the links? That one was wore out.
I think the whole damn thing's wore out. I don't know how you're gonna get a chain around the links though. Am I all the way through that second one on your side? Because I'm through the first one. Oh, master right there.
What? Right there, ain't it?
No, right there. There's a master right here.
It's missing the links.
Well, there's enough link to hold it together. Okay, grinder time.
You might be able to get in on that one now.
Where's my grind? Oh, it's on your side.
Alright, so it got dark on us yesterday, but to recap what happened last night, we got both of the rattle chains out. That's the good one, and the good drive chain, that's out. We got the old one out. We struggled with that one a little bit, getting the links cut, and the chain was stiff at one end and it fought us coming out. Got it out, and after we got it out, we noticed, and you guys are going to be not surprised, but the bearings are shot in that, and they've been shot for a while, it looks like. So we are going to replace those. We're going to work on that today. My buddy's bringing his service truck with his air hammer to punch the roll pins out that are in those sprockets, and we'll probably fight them all the way out because this shaft has to come out this way, and this shaft is bent. I don't know if you can see that, but we're going to take the one out of this machine, since that's got to come out and is bent. This one's got a little wobble to it, but it doesn't wobble in the pulley itself, or the sprocket, just the end of the shaft there. So this one's got better sprockets on the inside. So I don't want to reuse bearings out of this, but money's kind of tight right now, so we might just use the good bearings from this machine as we take stuff out, as long as the bearings are good and look like they'll be good for a while. Yeah, you can crucify me later, but I don't care. Budget's tight, so that's what we're gonna do. So that's what we're gonna work on when he gets here. This bearing housing is cracked and that bearing's bad, so we'll have to replace that bearing. I think this bearing was bad. Gotta count. We counted 5 bearings that were bad. Those two, and this bearing up here. That bearing's bad. So what we're going to do, and this is what I'm going to work on right now, we're actually going to pull this feeder beater off, because it would be these 3 bolts, this chain, and these 3 bolts, and that feeder beater will come out, and we're going to replace it with this feeder beater. This feeder beater has a brand new bearing on that side, and this bearing's not brand new, but it is not bad. So pull them 3 bolts, those 3 bolts, pull that guy off, and it's also got these rubber finger guards on it. We're missing a finger there, but oh well. So that's what I'm going to work on now, because this is an easy change I can do by myself. And we'll take that chain and this idler bearing, I don't know what the heck you'd call that, and put on this one. Get rid of this wood one. This one has all the wood style ones. That one has all plastic. So I'll change them out. And I noticed that one has a double sprocket on it. This one doesn't, so we'll probably change that out. I believe we need the double sprocket to run a corn head. I'll have to double check, because my corn head is on that machine over there. This one only ever had a grain table on it, so we got a double sprocket on that side, so that's good. But I'm going to run over to the other machine and look and see if it's got a double sprocket on it or not. So yeah, that machine over there has a double sprocket on it for the corn head. So we'll take this sprocket off, and I wonder what holds that on there. Must just be like just a tight press fit, maybe, because that's not a keyed shaft. Oh, it's got a roll pin in it, it looks like. Or no, it's got holes for them, it just don't have them on there. I bet I take that chain off and that sucker will tap off of there. So yeah, let me get the tools out and we'll get this dog and pony show going. I'll try to get some good shots working on stuff I haven't been doing the best filming, because it's usually at night we're working on this. Last night was after work. We didn't get out here till about 7 to work on it, and it was dark before we knew it. So we try to get as much video as we can working on these things. So yeah, let me get some tools and we'll get at her. Alright, I suppose I should probably update you on what we've done. We got this back in. I drilled out and retapped for bigger bolts because I broke 2 off. So bigger bolts, got the chain, got the sprocket switched out. I ended up stripping out my puller trying to pull the one that was on this machine off. I didn't get any video of torching these off because I broke my other GoPro camera that mount. Oh, excuse me, I just ate some pizza. That I can mount, so didn't get any video of taking that off. We're just gonna keep this shaft in here and change the bearing. So we went to Rural King, got bearings for it. Good thing about Gleaner combines, most of the bearings are the same size and you get most of them at Rural King. So we're gonna polish these up and get the new bearings put on. Alrighty, so you can see we got a head on it now. It's the next day. I think I said in the other part of this I broke my other camera, so I couldn't really get any good time-lapsey kind of shots or working on stuff. And plus, with the way things have been, we've been working later in the day into like midnight, so you wouldn't be able to see anything anyway. So we'll give you the next day update of it here. We got the rattle chain in. It should be properly tensioned. Supposed to have like 1.5 inch lift there. The rattle chain's in. We got the bearing replaced on both sides for that shaft. We replaced this chain. We kept hearing a clunking noise. Determined it was a chain. Don't know which one it was, but changed that chain from the other machine to this side. This is the chain off the other machine. This chain's off the other machine. This sprocket system's off the other machine because the other one was wore out. The chains are tensioned. This bearing housing cracked, but the bearing doesn't move in that housing or nothing. So I haven't decided if I want to change that yet or not. To change that, we'll have to take this arm loose, and if we do all that, we'll change this bearing and change that bearing. Got that bearing chain back there. This pulley wobbles. You can see it's wobbled a long time. The pulley on the other one wobbles. Just wondering if it wasn't a design flaw and it put tension on something and bent it. With the 2 machines doing it, the 3rd machine back there will probably be determined at a later date, you know, when we decide to get that one running. But got that bearing changed. Got this chain, that was part of the feeder beater off the other one. I'll have to pick the head up and show you what we did with the rattle chain. I didn't have the same style rollers that were that come with it. I have a different style. Let's see, I got a decent one here. The ones that come out of it are in 2 pieces and they're not supposed to be. This come out of the other combine, but see how it's got that flange on it. I found a box of parts from the M2 and I have 2 of those idlers with no flange on them, so I got them under there and I had to tension the chain to where it wouldn't drag side to side, so that took a little bit, but we got that on there. The only things I have left to do to the combine itself as of right now until something else breaks is I gotta replace the door for the bottom of the elevator. The M2 has a screen door and I have sheet metal inserts for it. We're going to take the screen door off of it, cut it to fit, put it on here. What's left after I cut that screen door down, I'm going to use to patch the screen door that's on this one, and I'll take this screen door off and have as a spare. I like the idea of the screen door because it'll help get trash out, and this one's actually sitting on it because this tire has gone flat. But I like that, so we're gonna put that one on there. But I gotta fix that screen door. I gotta put this piece back in that covers where the rattle chain is. Gotta go through, grease everything, and top off the fluids, and then work on more wiring. I need to get rid of wires that don't do nothing, like this one, and get some lights rigged up on it, and duct tape some spots that are wore out. I would like to redo these boots at some point. You can see they're rusted, and there's a hole right here. There's a collar goes here and comes in here, and I'm gonna see if I can have a buddy make me some new collars, and that's stuff for a later date. As long as I can harvest beans with it, that might be a winter project, because I would like to do some small grains with it. And I need to change the auger on the other side. This auger looked good from what I could tell. So this door will need a new hinge on it at some point, but it should get through this season. So that's it for that. The head we put on and run it, everything run. I don't really know what I have to do to the head yet, if anything, other than get the weeds out of it. And that piece of sheet metal needs bolted down, and it needs greased. But yeah, we were going to use that head because it is a nicer head, but I can't get it to sit down all the way on the combine. There is it's either warped, tweaked, something, I don't know. It won't sit all the way down on the one side. We've tried adjusting it and doing all kinds of crazy things, but I gotta lube the chains on this, on the head. I lubed, this is an original chain to this machine. I lubed it. You can see it's nice and free. It could probably actually be tightened. That wood blocks wore out. I would like to change all the wood blocks over to sprockets. I don't know why wood blocks were a thing, but they were. And then that chain there is an original chain. It's pretty loose, or not loose, I tightened it, but it's not stuck like the other ones were. So, and my my injection pump's leaking fuel. I don't know from where. I think because it's throttle shaft. Throttle shaft's loose. I think it's leaking from there, but I want to power wash it and get all the grease and stuff off of it, so that way I can watch it. Combine fires are a real thing, and they're real scary. And your diesel engines, when they catch on fire, it's usually because they leak diesel fuel around the injectors, collect bean dust, and you see where your manifold is, and you see where your injectors are. That's how combine fires start. Combine fires also start from bad bearings. This combine is full of old bearings, but we have located most of the bad ones. Not saying we've located all the bad ones, but we've located most of them. And so far, most of them that we have changed that are bad were bad when somebody else was running them, not from sitting, because everything was wore out. And same on this machine. Any bearing that I've taken out on something that I have put on this other machine was bad while the guy was running it. Like this one right here, the guy harvested with that like that, and he harvested with that one like that. So yeah, but I haven't showed you guys the machine running. I'm gonna fire it up and turn everything on. I gotta raise the head up, and I want to watch the head work. I haven't seen it work in the daylight, and I want to walk around the whole machine and see if I can spot anything that is crazy. And I need to watch the rattle chain and make sure it has stayed on track, because that's something I've been worried about, the rattle chain walking off them idlers down there, because I don't know where I can get that style idler, although I haven't looked anywhere other than Rural King. Like I think I've said it in other videos, what I like about these Gleaners is they're pretty standard bearings, and I can get them from Rural King. The two I replaced were for a 7/8 shaft. The ones that I need to replace on the other side with the broken housing, that's a 7/8 shaft with your clamp together 3-bolt housing. You got a couple pillow block ones on here. I mean, they're easy to change parts on. I think even that Massey Ferguson I had, I got Roll King bearings and put in it. So, but what I'm going to focus on today is getting the door, little closing door off the M2 cut, put on this one, and button it up, get all the shields back on it, cover on the back, and I need to get all the lights off the M2 for this. I want to put my flashing lights. That's one thing, that's one of my pet peeves. I gotta have flashing lights. Now I don't have them on the 4010 because I just haven't brought myself to drill holes in the fender to put them on the 4010 or the 2010, but the 2010 doesn't go down the road. But I like my flashing lights, so got to do lights and wiring on this. But it essentially is ready to pick beans in a sense. So it just needs gone through, make sure set up is correct. It should be. I imagine the last thing it harvested years ago was beans, so we're going to go through and check to make sure it's at the recommended settings, and then we'll tweak it from there. It does have a tachometer and stuff like that. None of that crap works. None of that crap worked in the M2. You just got to go old school with it and get out and check your beans and see if you're cracking them, see if you're pulling them out the back, or you got a bunch of trash. Just got to go old school with it. So I'm not concerned about any of that working. We can overcome that. So anyways, let's get her fired up. You guys can watch it run here. I love how quiet the actual combine is. Nothing's clanging and banging. That might have a bad bearing in it. I notice this engine has a little bit of blow-by. That chopper runs smooth as can be. Most of the noise from the heads from the cutter bar chatter. Could probably use some grease. So I'm gonna pick it all the way up and put that stuff on it and get around to doing something with it. Take you guys up in here and show you a little bit of what's going on. So this is your header, engage. Oh, poor auger's been beat up. Just listen to how quiet. Man, we can even run her up. She's just as quiet as can be. No clanging, no banging. Uh-oh. Oh, it's bringing stuff up that elevator, it sounds like. Something's got a little bit of a clang to it. And this is your separator disengage. Header pickup. This is also your variable speed when you go forwards and backwards for the combine. This is your real up and down. It sticks. And then this is your real speed, your gear shift. Don't have a choke anymore since we went to diesel. There's the throttle. Tack, like I said, don't work, but you use this to switch it between what you want to look at. Fuel gauge, I don't think it works. Temp gauge works, amp gauge works. Oil gauge works, but doesn't work. I believe that's for your flasher. This is for your lights, or vice versa. There's a heater one back here, your key. We do have an hour meter and it does work. 1,944 hours on this machine. Then over here is for your unload, your clutch, transmission brake, and steering brakes. And like most of the steering brakes in these old combines, they don't work, so you just use a transmission brake. And then you got your fan speed adjuster and your cylinder speed. And that's what that chain is there. That's your cylinder speed, and then that lever behind it's your fan speed. So, pretty simple. Fresh air, no fresh air, fans. Can put air conditioner in this machine, might put air conditioner in this machine, don't know. But, that's your basic Gleaner F right there. So, if we're going to be doing any work under the machine, most important thing is your header safety latch. Stop. Gonna have to zip tie that wire out of the way. So yeah, there you go. There is your walk around of it as a running machine and not as a relic that we pulled out of a brush pile. So, pretty neat, ain't it? Pretty neat. There's no grease for that guy. Wonder if there's a way to adjust slop on that. Probably not. Probably new parts. Yeah, who knows? We might not run this header. We might just deal with this one being off a little bit and run it. The only thing with this one is the front needs redone. Just needs tucked back under, which shouldn't be no big deal. We did that to the M2, redid that floor. But anyways, let me get to work on it. All right, as you can see again, it's dark. Time sure flies, you know, when you're having fun and it gets dark at 8 o'clock or 7:30 or something like that. So I adjusted my rattle chain a little bit. It was tracking this way a fuzz, so I adjusted it. It's tracking back straight. Got the cover on for that. Got all the side little doors on. Put the screen shields on it that were off of that machine because this one never had any. Got my mesh piece in. It didn't, the one off the M2 was a little too small, not width-wise, but going around it. So I just cut this one off the other machine and made a little patch and riveted it in. And that should be good to go. If I want to run wheat, I'll have to get a piece of sheet metal and stuff in there. I actually think there is a piece of sheet metal in that one for that. I believe the only other thing we have to do to this is wiring, lights, stuff like that, and grease it and get it adjusted. So there'll be a separate video for wiring and then a separate video for greasing and getting it ready, field ready, I guess. But as far as other work that needs done to it, or getting work needing done to it to get it to the field, I think we're done. It just needs, you know, adjusted, normal combine stuff you do every year, other than wiring. So that's good. It's good. That's very good. Yeah. So I looked at the beans. Looks like the beans might be ready next weekend. It's September 26th. So we'll see. We're going to, like I said, get this head. We're going to try to use this head. If we have to, we'll use that head. I got a couple other things I might try to that head to try to make it fit this machine. I don't know what the deal is, why it won't seat down on this machine unless it's tweaked. But I don't see how it would be tweaked enough to miss sitting down on that one side and not visibly see it, because it misses it by like ½ an inch, and you can't visibly see anything that would make it do that. So I don't know, but yeah, we're right now pretty much at the same stage with this combine that we were when I bought my M2, where it needed wiring and gone through, because the M2 run, everything worked. It just needed wiring done, gone through. I think we had to change, I don't think we changed any bearings on it before we used it for the first time. I did have to change the auger elbow though. It fell off. It broke and fell off when before I even used it, and all the little bearings popped out of it. But these don't have that, so she's gonna get a good grease job and some lights, and some of the lights might even work on it. I don't know. We'll tackle them when we get there. So until then, we'll catch you on the next one.